Things have been cruising along and we're getting towards a completed single Omni drive, and what I'd like to do is finish installing everything together, not necessarily in the final configuration, but I really need to weigh one unit. I need to figure out how much weight I have left over for weapons or defense. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to put this together and put in a number of bolts that will not be the final number, but get everything together, make sure it all fits, and then do a weigh-in for this assembly. We'll start by adding the main drive. Got to finagle some of the wires around a little bit to get them in. There we go. Everything's sitting in. Go ahead and drop bolts in. Enough to make sure it's well anchored together. As most people realize, as project deadlines get closer and closer, the niceties of documentation tend to take a little bit of a back seat, and that's unfortunate because that's an important part of what I'm trying to do, but I just have to be realistic in trying to make the competition deadlines that I have limited amounts of time. All right. All right. There we go. I'm not going to hook up the wiring, although I can check to make sure that the wireless receiver will reach its spot, and it does quite nicely. And this wire will get turned around and bolted there. This positive wire will get bolted down on the other side. But we have clearance, and everything looks good. Install the wire rope isolators next. Oops. Helps if I get the right length screw. Now I have 3 different weights of wire rope isolators. This is the lightest weight, and in terms of wire diameter, it's not going to make that much different in the overall weight of the vehicle, but the stiffnesses are going to be very different. When you just grab one and you squish it, it seems kind of squishy, but my experience with these is that by the time you put a full set of 4 in, it's actually a lot stiffer than you think. Each one of these is rated for the weight of a full wheel assembly. And the point here is that you're not trying to have no deformation on a good size impact. You want the system to move on impact. You want it to flex away. And the way the overall system is designed, for better or worse, is that as the system flexes away, it will encounter hard stops. And the idea is that the hard stop should take the load rather than the structure, this structure, which is not as strong, frankly, as the other parts of the frame. All right, I have a interface plate here, and I think I'm going to need 1.25 inches. That is correct. And then I need to go get some bolts, some nuts, I should say. To weigh it in, I just want to get the nuts in that will keep it from falling off, and add the weight. So surprising how much weight your nuts and bolts add, just like it's surprising how much weight wiring adds. Oh, that would explain it. Those are 1/4-28. All right. Obviously, this is not the way you would put it together for final assembly. But the whole point of this is to do a weigh-in and figure out just how much I have left. I did try to do a reasonable amount of light weighting. That's another thing that suffers towards the end of a project. It takes an enormous amount of time to do the structural analysis iteratively to size something so that it won't fail under normal loads, and you have enough margin to expect that small transient loads won't cause you big issues. I'm really hoping that this comes in at 30 pounds or less. I could survive up to 35 pounds, I guess, but more than that, and the armor and the other stuff is going to have significant issues. So that's the full up assembly. Ready to rock and roll. And I'm going to take a minute and get the good quality scale out, and we'll see what it weighs.